Immediately, plop. So I'm running a little bit behind, so you guys are going to see me dry brush these for the slap chop. So let's pull 10. 4, 9, 10, and then a character. There we go. That's a good start. Push the rest over here. There we go. Get my camera in the right spot. All right. Do. So this is gonna be slap chop like most of the other stuff. Start off instead of starting with black, I start with gray, and then just dry brush white all over it to give us our built-in highlights. So how's everybody doing tonight out there? Yeah, happy Halloween. Oh, all right, she's got extra bright handle there. A little extra on that one. That's okay. Yeah, went out today after I got home with Zombie Boy, as he is now affectionately known, and walked. Felt like 5 miles. Yeah, the orcs in that last battle they didn't do all that hot. Didn't do all that great. It's it's funny how that Dread Titan was a fantasy miniature or a fantasy rules for the Saurians. Just absolutely bodied the Orc Titan, made it run away. And yeah, dwarves are cool. The Grim Dark Future orbs, like an orc dwarf hybrid. You can tell my brain's not firing on all cylinders. The Grimdark Future Dwarf Guilds are pretty good. Um, and then there's so many people that make fantasy dwarves out there. I'm always partial to Highland stuff just because Highland, I don't know, they have got a good aesthetic going with their stuff. Just I like the way the curves are on their models. Sounds like I'm talking about a Corvette or something. Yeah. And so, yeah, check out Highlands Dwarves. Highland Miniatures Dwarves STLs, or you can just pick them up from Games Workshop if you want. If he doesn't have access to a printer, okay, they are all ready to be painted, and then I'm gonna do this, and immediately I'm gonna have to change my water because if not, everything is gonna come out all pastel-like. So, give me 10 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, more like 15 seconds. There we go. Whew. So, why am I painting sisters? Don't you already have a Blessed Sisters army? I do. I do. But, crap. A decision has been made. In what we are going to be doing going forward. Because, like I said in the end of the Jesters video that you guys haven't seen yet, that's coming out on Saturday. But like I said in the end of the Jesters video, I'm almost done. Almost done with one of everything. There's for Grimdark Future, there's a couple of Chaos, Havoc Brother, Havoc/Chaos Brother warbands that I have to do. And for fantasy, man, there's so many more fantasy things than there are Grimdark Future. I still have Dark Elves, Eternal Wardens, which I just got those painted up. Well, except for the bases. But I just got the Eternal Wardens painted up. They'll be coming shortly. Havoc Dwarves, Volcanic Dwarves, Sky Dwarves. Pretty much all the different flavors of Dwarves. And then, well, I haven't done. I have a War Demons army. I just haven't put a video out on it. Just because I don't know. I just haven't done it. And then Change Demons. That's it. It's done. What we are going to be doing moving forward is, because I'm getting a lot of comments on the old videos about how you didn't do this rule right, or why are you doing it this way? Well, because a lot of the old videos were done in like OPR version 3.0 or 3.1. So, we're going to go around again. I'm going to label the videos for what version they are. And in doing that, I'm going to change up the army list for each of them. As you can see here for the sisters, we're going full-blown combat sisters. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the OPR armies, the ones they have models for. I'm going to do those first, just to, I don't want to say get them out of the way, but because it takes 6 months for them to do a whole army. Where is this sand go? So, there we go. So if I do all their stuff first, and then in the meantime, while they're releasing stuff, like right now they're releasing the Human Defense Force and the Wood Elves, it gives me some buffer time, and then I can do their next armies, and I can see what's coming next, and hold off on those. I don't know. In my head, it works out the right way that way. So what we're going to do is, like the rest of the sisters that are out there, they're pretty much all done in Sand Golem for armor. So we're going to do Sand Golem armor here. I am going to put a little bit of color in these, just to differentiate them a little bit. As I shake my paint far too much. And then we're going to do one, two, well, probably like three, four drops in there. Let's see how that came out. As I, I'll let you look over as I have the rest of the sisters that were on top of my paintbrushes. Let's start with this one, this brush. So just armor panels. Yeah, that's about right. Sand golem watered down gives us a pretty good khaki. Yeah, yeah, I do like the aesthetics more and the storyline more. Okay, she's wearing like a t-shirt harness too. So that, I don't know, should I do the sand? I don't think so. We'll see as we get around to it. Then the boot caps. Yeah, it's funny too. The amount of armies that I've done, like I just randomly remembered I haven't actually made a video on dark elves yet. I was like, I'm sure I have because I've made and built that army list in the Army Forge at least a dozen times, but I never actually pulled the trigger on it. So we got that coming up soon. Well, I think the next one we are going to do, well, like I said, Jesters this weekend. And then next weekend, I think it will be Havoc Dwarves. And then for Grimdark, I'm not sure what next. I did do Dark Elf Raiders, not Dark Elf Fantasy. Hey, Tyrannoholic, that's fine being a little late, so it's no problem. But yeah, the fantasy list I have for him, I think it's got two Hydras in it. I just gotta find a Hydra model that I like. So let's see, what else are we going to talk about tonight? New job's going pretty good. Almost done with my second week there. Yeah, that's about all there really is to say about it. Just busy, busy there. Took the boy out trick or treating, and every year I keep telling myself I'm gonna make him power armor, and he's gonna be a space marine running around. And then every year when I say that, he immediately trips and falls over. I'm like, I don't know, give him a couple more years to get, grow into his legs. But he was all about it tonight. I think we walked past the house twice. Like, you ready to go inside? He's like, no, we're on a mission. We must get more candy. I was thinking about doing space brain armor for him. I've seen enough like foam tutorials. It's something, every time I look at it, I'm like, I could do that. So it will definitely be probably a learning experience, and I'll be humbled by all the cosplayers out there. But that's something. So what's everybody working on out there? Once I get done with this stream tonight, it is the last day of the month. So I'm gonna go out there and collect all of the pictures for the this month's work and production contest. Awesome. I love mummified undead. And going around again gives me an excuse to make more of them. You should. Oh, that's another thing too. Today, at a request of one of the people on Discord, I put in a tabletop simulator channel to where if you want to play someone on tabletop simulator, you can come in there and talk to them and get a game on. I should learn tabletop simulator. Like I have it, and I've never played a game with it. It's just been sitting on my computer for like 5 years. I got all kinds of hair up in here. This is the one downside to using those big makeup brushes that I do. And if you got cats, like they just attract the cat hair. So whenever you dry brush with them, it all sticks to the model. Hey, it sounds like a plan. I tell you, once you get into 3D printing, it changes your outlook on models. Yeah, firefight and skirmish, they are different creatures. Um, I'm just not that big into them. I like playing with full armies on the board. Like I never got into kill team or infinity even. Like I like I don't know, I just like seeing armies on the board. But some people love it. Man, I'm not going to hold that against them. Go for it. Like there's sometimes I want to break out my 2 millimeter barbarian armies. Oh yeah, it's definitely a lot less space investment. Yeah, they're definitely a good place to start. Yeah, I'm not gonna disparage that in any way. If someone's just starting out in the hobby, yeah, absolutely. Skirmish games are great. I've been asked why I don't do them more, and that's it. That's why I don't know. I just like the feel of whole armies on the board. That and if I paint 100 models, I want to play with 100 models. There you go, Riverboat. It's all about getting that hobby time in where you can. Now, let's do some skin. Gonna be using Crusader skin. And I gotta clean out the top. There we go. Now, normally, like you see me normally, I dilute my speed paints, but in this case with this army, I don't because I want these girls to have a bit more of a tan. I don't want a hair on her face. Get out of there. Get out of there. There we go. Uh, Saurian snake swarms. I don't know. I did mine just combination of green because snakes, and then blue because that was the skin color of my Saurians. So they're kind of. That's about the best I can tell you. Whatever color you think looks good. Okay, so she's got like a balaclava on. Half face. There we go. Didn't realize I printed all the ones with the half face mask, but hey, that works. It's a theme, right? For this army, I really wanted to do the the procession model because it's got some cool rules. But I'm just unable to print that on my printer. I've run into a hardware issue there. Well, I mean, technically I could print it, but it would take about a week and a half. I think I got it down to 9 different plates that were all going to be like 6 hours each. So we're going to go with something else. When it comes to do the resin settings affect the print, yes, they do. Um, Depending on your resin and how long you have it, like the exposure times and stuff, you can overexpose things. I mean, if you can underexpose them too, and if you do that, usually that's when you just get failure after failure. So just nothing's coming off the printer. But when you overexpose things kind of get they get fat. They where the resin should be, you just continue to expose it so it goes a little bit wider. Usually that's what happens, and then things just look a little off when you do that. I mean, it'll still work for a model, but it's not as good as it could be. I mean, it'll still definitely work because most of my like first stuff, like my orc army, it was the first army I did. Most of that stuff is overexposed, just because I was new, didn't know what I was doing. So it's not the end of the world, but it's something that you will notice. And then if you're doing like multiple parts, especially ones that are supposed to slot together, like if the designer has tank slots that are supposed to go together, or slots that are supposed to go together on like tanks and things, larger stuff, they're just not going to fit right if they are overexposed. You'll have to do a bunch of shaving. Definitely, a lot of people are going to be having some failures with their prints and not realize that it's temperature related. Oh, I missed that one up there. Um, well, I don't know if Chitu Box has like saved settings for different printers and resins. It'd be cool if they did. But there is like whenever you get a resin, you can look up the I don't know, I call it the cheat sheet. the thing from the manufacturer that'll tell you what your exposure settings should be. Like me doing the Mars 2 Pro and then the Sunlu ABS and then the Nova 3D Tough stuff that I throw in there as well. Which I mix those two, even though one is water washable and one isn't, it doesn't seem to hurt anything. That's another experiment that I should have put on the review video for that. But of course, at that point, it is no longer water washable, which is not a big deal. But the settings for those is like 2.5 seconds. And that's just something you'll figure out as you go along, too. I will tell you right now that you will have fails. Absolutely, you're going to have fails. Don't get discouraged. Everybody does. The amount of people that I've talked to that were like, I got a 3D printer and then I couldn't get anything to work. So I sold it. I'm like, but how many, like how much did you try? 3 prints and it didn't work? No, 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 no. I think it took me, I don't know how many, but I think it took me an entire kilo of resin to dial in what I was doing wrong. But, that's me. I like to bash myself against the wall until it breaks. Like, I am going to figure this out. Well, yeah, on the larger stuff, you could print huge print plates. You can. Not, not sponsored. But like the Saturn V build plate is like that big. And then like the one I use, the Mars 2, it's like that big. Yeah, when I first started printing, like yeah, get the cones, the calibration. There's a Cityscape one that is pretty good. When I first started printing, all we had was the freaking the rook and the boat. That was it. So yeah, like I got in at like the beginning. Well, not the beginning. It was like 2019 when I got my first printer, and the resources just weren't there yet compared to what there is there now. So what next? We got lots of leather. Let's do some leather. Oh, it's a hair I just cannot get off of there. That'll drive me crazy. Get. There we go. Oh, there's tons of safety stuff to follow when it comes to printing. I'll say look up some other videos that are better at it than me. Um, Not that mine's not safe. I'm just bad at explaining it. And then for our leather, instead of using hardened leather because of the color that we got going on now, we're going to use satchel brown because otherwise the leather will just blend right in. So this is just a little bit darker. Now we have a smaller brush. Are you smaller? Not really, but I'll make it work. full on support I didn't pull there. There we go. Yeah, like for ventilation, my whole basement down here is a negative pressure environment. And the only reason nothing's running right now is because the printer's actually off. The printer's off for the first time in a long time, just because I'm out of resin. I committed the cardinal sin. Yes, my printer is currently off. It just feels weird. The funny thing is, what that means is I'm going to have to use my FDM printer a whole lot more. Give me some time to focus on terrain and things. And I got an email from God, I can't remember the name right now, but he makes some Frostgrave terrain and stuff. He wanted me to check out and print some of his files. And if you're in the live chat, I'm sorry I haven't got back to you. It's just been busy. Every time I open your email, I'm like, I should reply to this, and then something else pops up. But that'll be something I take a look at because not that I think the terrain I have right now is bad. It's just getting kind of boring because I use the same stuff over and over and over again. Um, yeah, I could do that at the end of the year. Yeah, I should be done by then. I wanted to wait until I was done, and I should be done. Oh wait, what I did this? Yeah, I could definitely do a what I did this year. I'm thinking, oh no, I didn't keep track. But wait, I make videos on stuff. It keeps track of it for me. Oh, where'd that go? I can put another drop in there. Darken that up a little bit. There we go. Actually, what I should do, we're going to go through and do all those half face masks. Then I'll switch back over to the bigger brush. Oh, we'll create a whole face mask here. Oop, missed that one. Oh, the how to safely dispose of resins. Well, whenever you're washing the stuff out, you are going to need to do not pour it down the drain. You are going to want to gather it up and cure it all. And the way I do that is I take 2 liter soda bottles, fill it up with all of the alcohol that I'm swapping out, And then I have a shelf in the garage that is like right in the windowsill. I just let them sit there. And it takes me like 2 months to get a 2 liter bottle worth of stuff. So it just sits on that shelf for 2 months. It'll turn into like a weird jelly consistency. And then I take the top off the bottle, let all the alcohol or acetone that's still in there evaporate off, and then I'm left with more or less solid uh, 2 liter bottle of just sludge that I could toss. Yeah, I've looked into a distiller. Um, but I was like, that's that. I'd have to like learn how all that works, and I go through like a gallon of acetone. Oh, once every 4 months. So it wasn't like it's not breaking the bank, just getting more. So I'm just lazy on that. It'll probably be one of those things I pick up once I can start doing tax deductions. I'll have my tax deduction couch. Because I know tax season's coming up, and YouTube makes doing taxes complicated. Just because it's making just a bit more than breaking even at the moment. So I can't. I definitely can't complain about it. Complain about taxes. Everyone complains about taxes. Taxes. So, speaking of other things going on with this, speaking of other things going on with what projects I got coming up, there's going to be a Harvest Festival jousting video. There'll be a Age of Fantasy. We're gonna have a jousting tournament between all the different faction cavalry that I've picked up and made. This should be a fun little video to throw out there. We'll get to see if Sir Simp fails again. And then I'm gonna do a like a grimdark future. I don't know how to explain this. I want to show like a full video of all the different factions in One Page Rules Grimdark Future and what 40k armies correspond to that. So if people are on the fence and they play 40k, or even if I could just get it out in front of some 40k players' faces and be like, hey, you can use these models here. Even though it is model agnostic, you can use any model anywhere. These are along the lines. Show Battle Brothers and Space Marines and Blessed Sisters and Sisters of Battle and Human Defense Force, Astra Militarum. Just something I could throw together. Because I've had people ask me, and I'm like, I should do a video on that. Okay. Yeah, so the Tao is definitely the Tao. Um, the Eternal Dynasty is also very Tao like. You can use Tau models. They would analog over pretty good to the Eternal Dynasty. It's it's two separate play styles between the two. Oh, hello. Goblin requested I you get greeted. What's that mean? So Robert Wilson, that one popping in there, that's Uncle C. He's currently upstairs. Okay, we are rather monotone at the moment, which is fine. We're going to put some golds and some silvers on there. Awesome, Nexus. Yes, Blessed Sisters are great models. And going around again with the armies, I want something completely different. I did shooting in suits, so now I'm going to do melee and bikes. Or I don't know, melee and something. Okay, what should the next color be? Bodysuits. What can bodysuits? Oh, the zombie boy should be in bed sleeping. So the difference in play styles, the Dao, well, I mean, the armies, you could play them in multiple different ways, you know, but this is just what I've seen. The Dow are more focused on the suits, and they have the marker light mechanic, which I like as a mechanic. You know, in theory, in practice, it's a little wonky, but you know, marker light's just wonky in theory. And the Eternal Dynasty, in what, like, I haven't played them in a while, but the Eternal Dynasty, they felt a whole lot more. The suits were more melee oriented in my mind, and they were more focused on the troops as well. Where the Dow Union, the troops just kind of suck. So I feel like they're two sides of the same coin. What should I do for the bodysuits? I don't know. I kind of wanted to do black, but I'm out of black. But I can make black. Or I could do them red. Be a big old burst of color on there. No, let's not do red. That's weird. Yeah, it'll be black. I'm out of black, so let's make some kind of black. And oh, there's gonna be plenty of bronze and copper in the rest of it. There it is. Let's take some jank black here. We'll just do a little splooch. And then, oh, there's no more of that left in there. And then, touch of flow aid. Add in some water. What is that? Oh, why do I have plaster? Don't add plaster to it. All right, let's see what we got. That'll work. That'll work. She don't have a bodysuit. That works. Yeah, a little bit more black. Where'd it go? There it is. May seem like I know what I'm doing. It's entirely false. Fabrication. Oh, hey, square table. Yeah, it's going to be a few weeks away. A few weeks away. We got a couple of more grimdark armies to go through. Well, I mean, honestly, the Havoc brothers, I feel like I could just skip some of them. As terrible as that sounds, I should love every army, but some of it, like, there are. I'll admit, there's a couple of armies that I'm just not excited about, and that's why they're towards the end. Like Change Brothers, not excited about it. Change Demons, not excited about it. Not because I hate the concept of the army. It's just the rules kind of feel samey, and I feel like I've already done that. And blah blah blah. So I don't know. I could skip some of them. But Sisters are going to be one of the first ones. When I go around a second time, one of the first ones. Them and Eternal Dynasty, just because they were some of the first that I did. So they are some of the first to get the new ones because, like I said, I've been getting a lot of comments on those old videos. Like, that's not what the rule says. I'm like, I know. I did this video a year ago, over a year ago. Well, rigor mortis. I'm not saying they're a bad army. It's just they're not my thing. Used to be. I back when I was in 40K and third, fourth, fifth, sixth edition, I was running all kinds of chaos armies. Oh yeah, these sister models I went with a desert style color scheme. Um, just because that's what I did with the first ones, and this is just an add-on to it. And the reason I don't remember the reason, but there was a reason why I did. I think it was because it was the middle of winter and I was freaking cold, and I wanted to think I was in the desert. Okay, we got all these parchments to do, and I am in that point where instead of using pallid bone, we watered down some desolation brown. Ah, clean up my mess here. Let go. There we go. Yeah, I am planning on trying out StarQuest. Absolutely planning on trying out StarQuest. I already have some storylines written. I was waiting for StarQuest to show up. Cool. That's cool. The Human Defense Force. That's another reason why I want to go around again. Is I could do the Human Defense Force with OPR models. And I could do like something completely different instead of my conscripts. I could do all tank army. Why? Just because. As long as I can get them to fit on my printer. They do look cool. They definitely do look cool. Oh yeah, it's perfect for it. Okay, so let's move into some metallics. We're at about an hour in. Let's start metallizing things. Let me get my little metallic palette out. Um, there it is. Starting out with polished silver. We're gonna do the whole thing, one coat of polished silver, then go back in with like bronzes and coppers and stuff. And definitely bigger brush time. Oh, flat brush. Paintception. Yeah, with as much as I love my printer and it is a workhorse that I can't kill as much as I try. Um, I have a feeling a new printer is in the cards for next year. Just because there's a lot of cool things I want to print that I just can't because they don't physically fit. Yeah, I can make a video on printing, like how to do it, or just the process of printing. Yeah, I can give it a shot. Yeah, how to pick the next project. I don't know. Just hmm. Usually the way I do it is I get random flashes of bad ideas, and then I take the best bad idea and work from there. You know, get inspiration from wherever. Like I have on my phone I have like a note taking app, and I should really show some of the batshit ideas that I have. I mean, historical Japanese samurai, that's a good idea. If samurai is something you enjoy, jump on it. Go for it. Start up an army. Go browse some STL files, find ones that you think are cool. Yeah, I haven't looked into StarQuest yet. I'm definitely going to do it. I just haven't sat down and looked at the rules for it yet. Fantasy Napoleon Army is great too. That sounds like something straight out of like Turnip 28. All right, I want to put some bronze on here just because in the rest of the army bronze shows up in some weird places. So that's not bro. I just had it in my hand. Where did it go? There it is. Talus bronze. The I'm sure you guys already know, but the Kickstarter for Trench Crusade just went live a couple days ago, and they're doing pretty good over there. Should I do the middle? Yeah, let's do right in the middle. See how that turns out. Yeah, it's growing on me. Okay. Yeah, the like I want to get the rule book, but then for STL models, I'm not that inspired by the models they have, especially after doing Beastarium minis. That's kind of what I expected was Beastarium like minis for the um, I guess you call them hell factions. So that will definitely be something I switch out the models for. But yeah, a Trench Crusade thing is definitely on my list of things to do, along with a Turnip 28 army that's on my list of things to do. I've got all the files that I want. They're all sliced up. I just actually have to pull the trigger. And now where I'm, going back around doing the armies again, where I'm only going to be swapping out like 3, 4 squads instead of an entire army, I will have more time and printing capacity available. Well, I mean, that's the beauty of OPR is you can make it yourself. You could, make if you could find some models for it, you could write the rules for Grand Cathay, or you could use them as like Human Empire, just run them certain ways. Yeah, there's also in my bad idea box using the Warfleet rules for a Cold War submarine game. Why is my phone? Why is my camera doing that? Well, on the army builder, usually what you could do is you can find a rule that does what you want, and you can just either attach that rule to the model, or if just the flavor of having that rule on the model is what you're looking for, just like the name, I think you can change the name and just still use the rule as something else. Because I'm not sure on that one. I haven't tried because yeah, I didn't. Whenever I do it, I don't care what the rule's called. I just care what the rule does. All right, guys, we've been going for an hour and 20 minutes now, and I got work in the morning, so I think we are going to call this for tonight. Looking pretty good as it is so far. Definitely a whole lot more detailing to do, which will be done off screen. So, I don't know. I think, yeah, I think the armies that I haven't done yet for Grimdark Future, I'll just catch them on the next time around. Because now that I'm painting these sisters, I want to finish painting these sisters, and I'll have them on the board in a couple weeks. Well, I'll have them on the board in 2 weeks, and you guys will see them at 3 weeks. Yeah, yeah. Well, that's the way the schedule works. I record stuff a week ahead of time, at least those battles. So that's gonna do it for me tonight. I hope you guys are having fun playing OPR wherever you are, and I'll catch you later. Good night.